doing tonight? Great. Great's what I like to hear. So just in case you didn't know, before I got up here and started talking in front of all you, my job tonight is to talk about some hopefully funny stories and facts about my shitty life, so you will all hopefully feel a tad better about your meaningless, shitty lives. Off to a great start already.
Dark comedy.
I want to try something really quickly. Let's just try this really, really briefly. And even if you don't, just clap for the sake of the bit. So clap really quickly if you are hoping Donald Trump wins the presidential election this year. Just clap even if you don't believe it. All right, cool. Now do the same thing but for Hillary Clinton. So clap if you hope Hillary Clinton wins the presidential election. All right, glad to hear it from both sides. Can anyone tell me the right answer? Ding, there's the clock. The answer is you're both wrong. I think this is the first presidential election in recent history, or recent American history at least, where no matter who wins, we're all losers. I can guarantee 100%, no one is leaving those booths this year going, yeah, you know what, I did make a smart and informed decision today. I am confident that that person is going to lead America into the next era of greatness. No one's thinking that, okay? The only reason people are choosing either Donald or Hillary is they're hoping that they will fuck up our country less. Because honestly, you're either voting for a criminal or an idiot. And which one is which? I'll leave you to be the judge of that. I want to have kids. I think that's a fair thing to say. I want to raise the next generation of my family, as it were. But I do have a very real, sincere, burning fear that my kids are going to end up being fucking losers. Like, I'm going to love my kids. You know, of course I will. They're my kids. I have to love them. But I don't know. I don't know if I could handle it if they end up being lazy pieces of crap that never move off my couch. Probably smoking some cheap pot their dealer couldn't sell to anyone else. Hasn't showered in like 4 weeks and is complaining about video games she hasn't played online. I can visualize it so clearly. And, you know, I think what would make this whole situation worse, this whole hypothetical fake situation worse, is if the parent of this kid was a psychic. Can you imagine how much it would suck to have your wife be pregnant for 9 months, for them to go into labor, for them to finally, the doctor hear them shout, "It's a girl," and finally you hold your new baby, your newborn creation, and you touch it for the first time and are instantly filled with the feeling of, God damn it! You know from that moment that they are never gonna leave your house, and you're gonna have to raise them on your money of scamming people. You can't even change anything because of cosmic destiny or some shit. You're gonna have to raise that loser, and you're gonna have to do it until you're dead. Or, you know, something like that. Jeez. I'm not a fan of flying. And honestly, that hasn't been something that I would say has been true until recently. I used to love flying when I was a kid, but I think the reason I now have an extreme distaste for flying is I kind of had this adult realization that you're kind of just floating there on a pocket of air, 30,000 feet in the air in a tube. And if literally one thing goes wrong, you die. Yeah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in a plane crash, you just die. Yeah. I mean, the best case scenario in a plane crash is that you die in the initial explosion. That's the best. That's what you're hoping happens in a plane crash. You should never be hoping you die less awfully, but that's what you want. The slightly worse situation from there is that you die in the actual crash, and I think the absolute worst situation in a plane crash would be, your plane probably crashing in the mountains and you have to eat your family so you don't starve to death. Right. Either way, it's a bad time. And I think by far the worst part of flying, to me at least, is turbulence. Because it's like, hey, you know that thing that's totally terrifying and makes you feel like you're gonna die? Well, actually, that thing is still horrifying and you still feel like you're gonna die, but now it's a fucking roller coaster. And in turn, this has made me come to hate the pilot of every single plane I get on. And, you know I can't really blame the pilot for the turbulence, or at least I shouldn't. He can't control that. But my fear panic-ridden state, I'm not thinking logically. I'm hoping my funeral will be nice. How much would that suck, right? For you to die in some fucked up way like a plane crash, and then you have a shitty funeral? Oh, come on, for real? This is the way they're celebrating my life? Thanks a lot, Dad. Now I'm an angry ghost. Oh, and that reminds me. Boo? But like I said, I can't blame the pilot for the turbulence. It's unfair of me. But what I certainly can blame the pilot for is being a lying piece of shit. Let me paint you a little picture. The last flight I was on, coming from LA to Sacramento. The pilot comes on a little bit into the flight and says,
excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be experiencing a little bit of turbulence here. Please brace for impact.
And so, butthole clenched, I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited some more. I waited, actually, for about an hour and a half until he came back on.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be landing soon. Please brace for landing.
I was furious, alright? I jumped out of my seat, ran to the cockpit, kicked down the door, and I screamed, "What the fuck was that?" And I punched him down to the ground, I spit on his face, and I told him never to lie to me again. And then I went back to my seat and the plane exploded. The end. You know, some people say the plane in that last bit was actually just a metaphor for the downfall of mankind. Yeah. Can we talk about that for a minute? I think one of the most annoying things in the world to me, in general, but more specifically on social media, is hipsters. Hipsters are so obnoxious, especially the kind, which I'm talking about, is the kind that look way too deeply into things. This is a real, I'm not even slightly kidding you, this is a real Facebook post I saw a couple weeks ago. Luckily my family or my friends didn't actually make it, but one of them shared it. So, this is real, this is 100% real, someone believed this. That's me becoming a hipster. You know, The Titanic by James Cameron is actually a really brilliant film. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, but yeah, the Titanic's actually really, really great because the whole thing's actually an allegory for Dante's Inferno. Yeah, because you see, the boat is actually Dante, and the water or the ocean or whatever, you know, that's actually hell. And no matter how many levels of hell Dante, or the Titanic, you know, that's the layman's call it, no matter how many levels of hell he gets through, he finally just gets defeated by the iceberg, which was Satan. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that amazing? Or maybe it's just a movie about a fucking boat. Did that thought ever cross your mind? Not everything has to be looked so deeply into. Some things are meant to be taken literally, okay? That's as far as I'm gonna say there. Christ, give me an aneurysm. I'm currently a sophomore right now in high school, and my God, it's kind of the worst thing ever. And I can hear all the adults in the audience as soon as they say that, like, oh, he's probably just a melodramatic teenager. Shut up, okay? High school sucks. I hate it.
I understand.
It is the worst, okay? High school, it's like they took every kind of shitty person that was out there. The mean kids, the kids that are ugly but make fun of you for being ugly, the insecure kids, and they threw them into one big building and they said, learn there. And what's pretty terrible to me about high school is that usually it's not actually the kids that make high school so terrible. Believe it or not, no. It's the teachers. The teachers, the people we're supposed to respect, the people we're supposed to treat as authority figures, they're the ones that make high school akin to suicide. All right? There was this English class I was in last year. And it was a mean teacher, and I happened to be doing badly in their class. It was the winning combo. And so, at one point, the teacher came up to me, in front of the entire class, of course, and she goes, you know, John, if you keep doing the way you have been, you might not even pass my class, you know? I mean, honestly, you're not doing that great, and honestly, I mean, do you even want to pass? Okay, two things. First of all, I had a C in that class, so...
Passing.
Second of all, what kind of question is that exactly? you know, no, actually, you know what? I don't want to pass. I actually want to repeat freshman year 3 times before finally dropping out. It's called flailing. It's a new trend. You should look it up, you dumb bitch. No, of course I don't want to fail. Jesus Christ. And, you know, obviously the teacher just said this in front of the entire class to embarrass me. That's what teachers do. That's what teachers love to do. They get their kicks because their life sucks so much they have to be like, oh, that kid, I gotta pick on that kid. All right? And so obviously that's what they were doing. But I can't help but imagine if this is actually something they believed, what kind of thought process this was. All right? It's like, huh. John turns in all his English homework. He asks for help when he doesn't understand and he's still doing badly? Man, he must really not want to learn. What? You know what else I can't stand about school? Is when the teachers place the notes on top of clocks. So you can't see what time it is. You know, it's usually with a poster or whatever. And of course it always has to have that cheeky message on it like, don't worry, time passes, but will you? I don't know, maybe if I could see your clock, I'd be able to tell a little better. Because believe it or not, teacher, I'm not just looking at your clock to find out when I get out of your boring-ass class. That's only half the time. I'm also trying to see how much more time I have to do on your assignments. So it would be really, really helpful if I could see what time it was. Alright, if I don't have a real clock, I've used my internal one, and that thing hasn't worked in years! It's all dusty and there's battery acid all over the place. It's disgusting. I don't want to deal with that. And no, by the way, Mr. Smarty Pants in the audience, I'm picking on you. Someone, I don't know. I can't just use the sun because I don't think it's real. That's right, I'm taking a stand in this performance. The sun is actually just a hologram created by the United States government so that we think that space, which is just a hologram created by the North Korean government, is also real. Can I talk about conspiracy theories for a sec?
Sure.
Because, my God, they're pretty incredible. And I don't mean conspiracy theories in general, because there are some that are actually kind of interesting to read. I don't really buy into any of them, but they are interesting, to say the least. But the kind of conspiracy theory I love are the ones that are so ridiculous, you think that the person who came up with them had to be on some sort of heavy narcotic. All right? And actually, in my little book of wonders here, I've actually written down some of my favorite conspiracy theories because, ooh, they've brought me so much joy, I thought I might as well share some of them with you, if that's okay. Let's see here. All right, let's start things off a little light. All right. So conspiracy theory number 1. Yeah. Okay, that seems pretty believable. Hey, did you guys know that the Pentagon was a monument created so we could talk to dolphins? Crazy, right? I know that almost seems insane. All right, let's see what else here. Yep. Also pretty believable. Leonardo da Vinci was kidnapped by 2 years by aliens and shown the secrets of the universe. Right? Oh man, that's crazy. Let's see. The author of Alice in Wonderland is also Jack the Ripper, in case you didn't know. Teddy Roosevelt could also talk to deer. The government is run by lizards. Aliens secretly control the lizards that run the government. 6 companies run everything in the world, and Bill Clinton is a reincarnated dog. What the fuck? Alright, the rest of those, while ridiculous, have some form of believability, right? But that last one is insane. It is beautiful and how crazy it is. Bill Clinton is a reincarnated dog? What? I can't with that one, alright? And what's scary to me is not the people that make up these, alright? That's not terrifying, because I know that the internet is a stupid place and people are gonna believe stupid things. But what's scary to me is that there are people that have read these theories, read through all the evidence, and then gone, yeah, that seems believable. I can buy into that. Because, I mean, come on, Bill Clinton is a reincarnated dog. Come on with that, man. It's ridiculous. I went to Reno recently with my family, and it was really, really fun. It was a fun trip. And we did a lot of awesome things. We walked around Circus, and we just kind of walked around the city, and we just explored. Because Reno is a really beautiful city. It's like a smaller Vegas. It's great. And on the last day we were supposed to be there, we were going to see the Reno balloon races, which is this really awesome thing where they race hot air balloons. So here's the awesome thing about John and his lack of insight, okay? John is like, hey man, I've got to get up at 4:45. brilliant idea. I'm gonna stay up till 2 in the morning. Catch you later, regular John. And then regular John gets up and he's like, oh, what was I thinking? So basically I did that. I stayed up until 2 a.m., got up at 4:45, and I was feeling okay. Not great, but I was feeling fine. So we started heading up the hill to go see the Reno balloon races, and it was really cool, admittedly. There was really great picture opportunities, and there were just awesome balloons. It was just a great time, but a little bit into it, my stomach started to feel weird. And that's the thing with me, especially when I'm tired, my stomach just feels weird. I have stomach problems. So I didn't think anything of it. So I just ignored it and went away. So I was like, okay, great, deal with that. I got rid of that. I'm a smart one. I pulled one off on my stomach. But then about 10 or 15 minutes later, my stomach started to hurt again, but this time it kind of started to feel like it was opening and closing over and over again inside itself. And I was like, oh, that's probably not good. And so I was like, you know what? I ignored it the first time. I'll just ignore it this time too. So I did that. And then my stomach started talking to me. Hey, John. Yeah, stomach, what's up? You're feeling a bit weird, right? Is there anything I can do? Yeah, man, I'm just not feeling 100%. Can we go, like, get some sleep or something? Yeah, of course, that sounds great, stomach. So I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm just not feeling great. I'm gonna go down to the hotel and I'm just gonna sleep this off because I'm feeling weird. She said, okay, go ahead. So I started heading down the hill, and I was about halfway down to the hotel, and suddenly my stomach started talking to me again. Hey, John. Yeah, stomach, what's up? I'm going to get some sleep like you asked. I want to make sure you're feeling good. I want to make you feel better in general. Yeah, about that. You're gonna shit your pants in the next 2 minutes. What? What did you just? I'm gonna shit my what? Yeah, minute 25 now. Yeah, clock is ticking. Hurry up. No, stomach, there aren't any bathrooms. 1 minute left. Oh, God. Okay, so I kind of had to do one of these, you know, like the huddle run where you're kind of holding yourself closed so nothing comes out. So I was kind of doing one of those, and then I was like, oh, God, there are need a restroom. So I had two options in this situation. I could either A, try and run down to the hotel and probably shit my pants in the process, or B, I could try and find some kind of restroom up on the hill where the balloon races were going up. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go up the hill. So I start going up, and then I remember, wait a minute, when we came into the balloon races, there were porta potties. I just have to make it to one of those. So I was like, okay, great. So I start huddling, running this thing up there. And finally, I see it's such a great sight. I'm like, oh, porta potties. And I turn the corner, and then I realize every single one had a line. And the line kind of stretched to where I was already. So I was like, oh, God, and my stomach was like, clock is ticking, man. You're running out of time here. You're cutting it close. I was like, shut up, stomach, I know. So I'm just sitting here, like, trying to make sure I don't shit my pants. And then finally, it's like the gates of heaven were opening up in front of me. A door was opening. And I thought to myself, oh wait, there's a line, right? I probably shouldn't go for it. There's probably a line. I didn't even get to the word the before I was inside the porta potty. So I close it, and it took me a couple tries to get it closed, which was really, really agonizing. Each one felt like an eternity. And I swear to God, before my cheeks hit porcelain, there was an avalanche of shit. It was the worst stomach problems I've ever had, and I'm probably gonna try and forget it in therapy. I'm gonna stop with that one because I know that was just a real crowd pleaser, the oh, you almost shit your pants story. One of my favorite things in this world, one of my favorite things that I've just ever encountered is, how do I put this? Idiots? I think that's a good word for it. Stupid people. That's the best word to describe it, I think, is stupid people.
They walk among us.
Exactly. So, but I think my favorite kind of stupid people are not the people that are just idiots that have bad grades, because if we're talking purely on academically, I'm in that general group of idiots. All right? I'm talking about the idiots that are so stupid, so brain dead, you wonder how they function every day, how they get up out of bed and they dress themselves and they don't put pants over their chest. That is the favorite kind of idiot I love. And of course, there happens to be one that goes to my school, and his name is Chris. And Chris is, he is so goddamn beautiful. So I don't actually hang out with Chris because I think he's stupid. I don't really like to hang out with idiots. But there was this one time where I hung out near him last year, and I overheard him saying this. Yeah, it's almost Christmas, and my mom asked me what I wanted, and I asked her for Jordans, and she said, sorry, Chris, we can't afford that. And I said, really? Really? You can afford groceries every week, but you can't afford my Jordans? What kind of logic is this? Oh my God. That is like a whole new level of first world problem. This is like -50 problem. Sorry, son, we couldn't afford food this week, but do you at least like your $300 shoes? That's really what matters to me in my heart. Another time, I heard him telling a story of how he got in a fist fight with a guy because he wanted a dirty, half-eaten sandwich. It was mind-melting. This kid makes me happy to be alive. I take public transit a lot. I think it's a really easy and efficient way to get around, and I think it's awesome because it's just so simple. You know, public transit is just really, really easy and quick, and it's cheap, which is great because I have no money. So I will offer a warning though if anyone starts taking public transit, because I know I'm obviously the person you should be taking advice from. But if anyone starts taking public transit after this, I want to offer a warning that you are going to see the strangest group of individuals in your life. I once saw a guy die and come back to life within the span of 5 minutes. All right? You all look like you probably need a little more context. So this guy got on a few stops after me. He was a heavyset fellow, and he pulled out a sandwich and started eating it. I looked down at my phone for 30 seconds. I looked back up. He was gone. And I know what some of you are thinking. He's probably just a heavy sleeper, right? Right? He was probably just sleeping. But if deep sleeping doesn't involve not moving or breathing or showing any signs of being alive, I'm pretty sure he was dead, actually. And I watched this guy for a solid 5 minutes, just this. For 5 minutes. I got worried. I was about to call the conductor over when suddenly, and he just jolted up. And he looked out this window, looked back at his sandwich, looked out the window, started eating his sandwich again. That sandwich must have been incredible. He came back to life just for that sandwich. He faced God, and God said, "Do you have any unresolved business, my child?" And he said, "That sandwich was pretty good. Can I go back and finish that?" And God said yes, because he knew how great the sandwich was. All right, it took all my willpower not to snatch that sandwich out of his hand. I wanted that. The life-saving sandwich? How good must that have tasted? And then, as soon as he had gotten on, he got off into the midday. And I never saw him again. He could be dead, for all I know. Or he could have gotten off and died after that. Man, if you're watching this from heaven, you're a legend. Just want you to know. Another time, I heard a guy talking with his daughter and telling her he had 6 months to live, which was horribly depressing. And it was a really heartfelt call, and he was going on and on. And he was like, "I love you so much. I'm so proud of everything that you've become. You mean the world to me." And I think I could hear faint crying on the other side of the phone. It was really sad, and he just sighed, and he said, "I'm just kidding. Happy birthday." How fucked up is that? You told your kid you're dying on her birthday? What is wrong with you? Alright, I understand birthday pranks, but that is just like emotionally scarring. What if this is like a boy who cried wolf situation and you call her to tell her you're actually dying and she doesn't believe you? Oh, nice try, Dad, at St. Patrick's Day. I know you're fucking with me. Alright, like a birthday prank is like, "Hey, sorry honey, I saw someone get in a fender bender with your car and they drove off, but I'll get it repaired." Or, "Hey honey, Grandma had a little bit of a fall, but she's doing fine now, and I just wanted to tell you that she said she loves you and happy birthday." Not, "I'm dying. I'm dying." Oh, Jesus. I'm dying is like 50 fucking levels above birthday pranks. That is ridiculous. And as we come to the end of my little show here. I know it has an ending. That's so crazy, right? I thought it would go on forever. He never shut up. As we come down to the little end of my show here, I think it's fitting to discuss and talk about something I really, really hate. Because I think that's been a general theme of the show, is things I don't like. So let's just get right into it, shall we? I think I found the worst place on the planet. I know I was bitching earlier about high school, but no, I honestly think this is the worst place I've ever had the misfortune of going to. And the best thing about it, I've gone there once in my entire life. And I'm just gonna stop going on about it and just tell you that it's the Department of Motor Vehicles, otherwise known as the DMV. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this message needs to be heard. All right, and I know people are thinking, oh, that's such like a cliche stand-up comedian joke. So many people have done that before you. No, all right, they're right. If anything, they should have been harsher. The DMV sucks. It has every single thing I hate in one building. It is the worst. Let's go through them one by one. All right, so first of all, as soon as I got into the DMV, I got a mind-altering, oh my god, I'm going to die brain hemorrhage headache. It was the worst. Also, and here's the big cliche about the DMV, is the lines, right? The lines at the DMV are terrible. Oh, the lines. But my mom was actually smart. And this time, she was like, okay, I'm tired of waiting in all these lines. I'm gonna actually call ahead and make an appointment. I'm gonna be smart about this. So she called ahead, but then we arrived and we couldn't help but notice. Now wait a minute. That non-appointment line looks a lot bigger than the appointment line. But here's the really great thing about the DMV. If you get in the non-appointment line, when you have an appointment, you get up to the counter, they're like, oh, what's your name? And you tell them your name, they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't show that you have an appointment. Get back in the appointment line. And the entire DMV is just built off waiting. Waiting in this line, getting a form, filling out the form, going to another line, waiting in that line, giving that lady the form, getting another form, filling out that form, finally going and giving this lady a form, finding out the right line that you were in was 2 lines ago, taking out your handgun, cocking it, putting it in your mouth. All the things you see at an average day at the DMV. And it was awful, okay? I had therapy scheduled for after the DMV, and I had to call and reschedule it to the next week because it took so long, all right? And I didn't even think I'd ever recover, all right? I went upstairs and I locked myself in my room. I didn't come out till 2 days ago. And even now I'm still getting like Vietnam flashback. No, not the lines. I don't want to wait any more lines. No, I filled out that form already. No, I don't want, Mommy! Well, I guess I'll just go read some conspiracy theories to make myself feel better. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been great.
His name is John, he turns me on, and he's the reason I have written this song. I would have spent this time preparing for school, if I was not being held hostage by this fool. I'm being held hostage right now, and have to write this song. It's painful right now, but that does not matter because we have John. And in the textbook it says he's number 1. Time for a recorder solo now.